Good morning and welcome to the last math lesson for this week of school. Today we're going to be looking at a division review, and not just any division but long division. So let's jump right into it. Now there's some steps to long division. First step is going to be to divide. Then we multiply. Then we subtract. And finally we bring down. All right. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. You try it. Ready? Say it with me. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. You want to drill that into your head. One more time. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. Okay, I'm going to be using those letters and these symbols to help us remember. Divide is going to look like this. Multiply, subtract, and bring down. The down arrow. All right, I'm going to be using those symbols as we go through today. One more time, say it with me. Ready, say. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. All right, let's start with something basic. If I have 4 divided by 2, you're used to seeing it like this. And you might have that memorized in your head. 4 divided by 2 gets you 2. Well, to help us put it into perspective for long division, let's use our division box. When we use a division box, this first number always goes in the box. The second number always goes outside of the box. All right. Now, what did I just say before? Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. So let's start off by dividing. What's 4 divided by 2? Well, you know that is 2. We put 2 at the top. Now we multiply. What's 2 times 2? Very good. 2 times 2 is 4. Divide, multiply, subtract. Now I subtract. What's 4 subtract 4? 0. The last step is bring down, but since this one got me a 0, I don't have to bring down. So my answer, or for division we call it your quotient, is 2. What's the quotient of 4 divided by 2? It's 2. All right, well that's pretty basic. Let's get into something that's a little bit harder. Let's go ahead and say that we have 50 divided by 36. All right, do you remember our little saying? Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. I'm going to write that off to the side so I remember. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. All right, so my first step is going to be divide. Well, what's 50 divided by 36? How can I think about that? Well, how many 36s fit into 50? Only 1. Let's do the next step, multiply, since we've already divided. What's 36 times 1? Very good, that's going to be 36. Divide, multiply, subtract. Let's subtract those two. What's 50 take away 36? Well, we reviewed how to do two-step subtraction earlier this week. If you need a review, go back to that video. That's okay. You can watch it as many times as you need. I need to borrow from the 5. 5 becomes a 4. 0 becomes 10. 10 subtract 6 is 4. 4 subtract 3 is 1. All right, divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. Well, is there anything to bring down here? No, there's nothing. Well, I have 14 left over. When we do long division, we would say that is going to be our remainder. So I'm going to use the capital letter R, 14. So what's 50 divided by 36? The answer, or the quotient, is called 1 remainder 14. All right, guys, let's do one more example, this time a little bit harder. All right, I am going to put 2,000 in the box. And I'm going to put 200 outside of the box. Now I'm looking for the quotient. What's my answer? Okay, well, what are my steps again? Let's write them off to the side. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. All right. Well, 2,000 divided by 200, that's a little bit too hard for me right off the bat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count how many place values there are. Remember, we learned about place values last week. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm actually going to just go out 1, 2, 3 spaces. And if we were in class right now, I'd take my hand and cover this one up because we don't need it right now. Okay? Instead, I'm just going to put a little line here to remind us to stop there. Okay, well, what is 200? Wait a minute, Mr. Ivan, there's a comma there. Yeah, that comma might be confusing you, so let's just go ahead and get rid of that comma for now. All right, let's try again. Well, what's 200 divided by 200? Very good, that's 1. Let's go back to our little chant, divide, multiply. Well, what's 1 times 200? Very good, it's 200. Divide, multiply, subtract. Let's subtract that out. What's 200 subtract 200? Very good, it's 0. All right, and you know how I had this little arrow or this little line here to block off? Let's get rid of that, we don't need them anymore. Go back to our chant. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Hey, I've got another number over here. I'm going to bring it down. Okay, now I've got to ask myself, what's 0 divided by 200? That's kind of tricky. Think about it this way. If I have $0 and I want to pass it out to 200 people, how much money does each person get? If I have $0 and I want to pass it out to 200 people, how much money does each person get? Very good, it's 0. I write the 0 up there. What's 0 times 200? Well, it is 0. Divide, multiply, subtract. 0 take away 0 is 0. Okay, now that I have 0 left over, I think I can go ahead and figure out my answer. What is 2,000 divided by 200? 10. 10 is my answer, 10 is my quotient. I know that was a lot of information packed into one video, but it's getting long. So if you need a review, go back and watch it again.